Hello, everybody, and welcome here to our fourth race of the season, as this is the qualifying race here at Watkins Glen for the General Tire Delivers 100 the Glen for the ARCA Menards Series presented by the BCSRA. I know what you're all are thinking. You're thinking, wait a minute, I thought we were supposed to be going to the Kentucky Speedway. We were supposed to go to Kentucky Speedway, but due to the fact my NR decided to be a drunken hyena, I decided to relocate the series to our first road course race of the season. And how fitting we're doing it at one of my favorite tracks and the home of Seth Cole. It's none other than the Glen. And also notice, if you haven't seen, this is the qualifying race, as I mentioned. We're going to have 9 laps. The grid's over here, the left side of your screen, all the way down to Margaret Jacobs. Yes, road course racing, first one of the season. All the road courses will have qualifying races for the main series, that is, not for East and all that. So, yeah. So, do apologize for the inconvenience about the whole Watkins Glen situation. So, or not Watkins Glen, excuse me, the Kentucky situation. So, yeah. We hope to have it for next season. So, 9 laps of racing. There will be some full course cautions. So don't be surprised if we're going to see a caution or two that can dictate this race. Plus, remember, the drivers that are competing in the E-Series race this afternoon, they're going to have some extra data that they could carry over the drivers that are not racing in this series. As the green flag is out, we're racing here at the Glen, and I've also noticed this track does not have the Winston Cup Series logo since it still has the NASCAR Racing logos, but I will worry about that later. Liliana Beta is going to take the lead. Keep your eye on turn number 1. That's going to be a trouble spot as we head up to the S's. As something we have not been to for this series is a road course. And I thought, since I don't want to do like a couple of mile and a halves back to back, let me just mix it up and just take us to our first road course race of the season. I don't think pitch strategy is going to be a factor in this race. I thought the 06 lost control there in the back, but it's like Laura Bridges held on to it, make sure she's all right, and she is, although she has fallen behind Alex Zimbatelli, which is, by the way, the transfer spot that she's currently in. Liliana Beta still has not made a start this season. Also, surprised to see this guy, Curtis Glover, not made a start this season. Lap number 1's in the books. Check the back of the field, see if they've had any troubles or not. Margaret Jacobs didn't have a good qualifying effort back here at the rear of the field. Good to be here in upstate New York. We haven't been, as I said, to a road course this season, so thought we could test our luck on a road course. And the caution is out for the first time today in this qualifier. And it's Dylan Van Dyke who's run into troubles. Ariel Moore, Josh Rogers has also run into trouble, so we've had 3 cars in trouble. And there's the yellow for Liliana Beta. She'll take it, as that is our first caution of the day, which means Dylan Van Dyke is now 0 for 4. So the caution is out for the first time here today. Excuse me, apologies for the belch. I'm having some pop, if y'all don't mind, so yeah. Caution's out for the first time today. Let's jump back, look at a replay to see what in the world happened to Dylan Van Dyke as we're under caution here in the qualifying race here at the Glen. This is going into the bus stop. Dylan Van Dyke was running 21st at the time of the incident. See what happens here. I think he's going to get a shot here from Ariel Moore. Yep, that was the answer. Barely clipped the 25. And that's all three Toyotas off the course. Bam, into the tire wall there. Ariel Moore gets collected in the tire wall, as we didn't see the impact. Yep, she did. And also her teammate Josh Rogers. So that's a bad day for Venturini Motorsports. They're right now looking at two drivers going to fail to qualify. And believe it or not, this car won the championship last year. So tough break, and Josh Rogers got stuck in the gravel trap. Unfortunately, had to teleport to pit road. So the caution's out for the first time here today in the qualifier. Let's jump to the restart here at the Glen. Lights out on top of the pace car. We're going to go back to green on lap number 5 of 9. That will give us 5 laps of racing to go when we take the green flag. And we got a car with an issue. Is that the 41? Yep, it's the 41 of Samantha Wilson, who's got some kind of problem, and that's a tough break for her. And she was not even close to a transfer spot, and unfortunately, that's going to mean she will be another driver who, unfortunately, will go home. Top 10 as we go back to green. First off, before we do that, Dylan Van Dyke is out of the race. Unfortunate for him. He has now been confirmed will go 0 for 4 in making this race, and he'll have to try again next week at the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway. Top 10 as we go back to green. Lilian Bates the leader. Curtis Glover second. Josh McDowell third. Bryn Inglewood fourth. Trinity Lee fifth. Sixth, Alex Vitale. Laura Bridges holds the final transfer spot in 7th. Drake Robertson is 8th. 9th is Josh Quake, and Sebastian Palmer complete the top 10. Of course, the E-Series race will be coming your way soon. The Clean Harbors 100. That will be at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time today. Right back here at the Glen. And then tomorrow will be the General Tires Delivers 100 at the Glen, a 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hope you will join us for that. That's Liliana Bates and Curtis Glover, two drivers who failed to make the first 3 races of the season. They're looking to try to make it here at the Glen. And the thing is, for the 7 drivers that make this race for tomorrow, they're going to have 9 extra laps over the other drivers who have only made none prior to this weekend. So that's going to be something that the 7 drivers, if they make the show, they're going to have that advantage over the other 35 drivers. Green flag back in the air on lap number 5 of 9. Here comes Curtis Glover, going to take the race lead. Curtis Glover, the South African driver. He's another driver who's not made the first 3 races either. Josh McDowell made his debut last week. So that's good for Josh. Bates has gone from lead to about to drop to 3rd. Got to be careful going double wide, going into the inner loop, because we saw an incident that brought out the first yellow. And do want to update you guys while this is going on, and looks like the caution is out. The 25 and the 55 that got stuck in the gravel trap teleport to pit road. They managed to stay on the lead lap as Samantha Wilson's in trouble. Oh, Luca Rosso's in it. Felicia Tesser, Annie Smith, Timo Mauser are in the gravel trap. The yellow is out. This could end the race under the yellow flag, as Curtis Glover will round the field off of turn 7, and this could be borderline. We just took the caution with about 4 laps to go. I do not think we're going to get back to green, but we're going to have to wait and see. And Sebastian Palmer would hold on to the final transfer spot, believe it or not. So While the field is under the caution behind the Dodge Charger pace car, let's jump back, look at the replay to see what happened to cause the second and possibly our final caution of the day here at the Glen. And here is what happened to, let's go to the 81 car, because she was the car that I saw spun first. Felicia Tesser. Oh, no, I was wrong. Looks like contact between Timo Mauser and was that Nathan Ormond? Yes, it was. Sent Timo Mauser into Annie Smith. Also, Felicia Tesser and Luca Rosso, of course, wheel hopped it. Let's get another look here. Let's go to helicopter just to confirm there was contact between the 31 and the 08. I think Ormy was trying to outbreak Timo Mauser, which I don't think Timo Mauser is going to take too lightly to that. And nowhere for the Missouri Tiger Chevrolet of Annie Smith to go as she gets forced into the gravel trap. Mauser was running 29th at the time of the incident. But then how did Felicia Tesser get spun? Oh, she and Luca Rosso didn't make contact. They just lost it on their own. And off goes the 81 and the 44. The 44 did get out of the gravel trap, so that's good. So Luca Rosso will stay on the lead lap, but I think his chances of winning this race, making the field, is pretty much G&E. And he's another one of those drivers who's not made a race this season. So Timo Mauser, I do not think he's made a race this season, as my point standings decide to be a drunken hyena. Because that was not what I was looking at. There we go. Timo Mauser has not made a race since, I want to say, the first race of the season. So that's a tough break for him. And looks like he's going to go 0 for 3 ever since making his first start of the year. So that's what brought up the final caution of the day. Let's get back to the restart, possibly at the Glen. All right. Looks like we're going to have a green-white checker to finish off this race here at the Glen. The 41 of Samantha Wilson is back out on the track. She will be one lap down as a result. Excuse me there, but Samantha Wilson has been confirmed she will not make the show as a result. So that's a tough break for her in that regard. Right now, it's Curtis Glover, Josh McDowell, Bryn Inglewood, Liliana Beta, Trinity Lee, who has not made a race since Coca-Cola, Alex Invitali, and Sebastian Palmer. Palmer has not made a start. Invitali made his debut last week at Darlington. Trinity Lee, as I said, has not made a race since Coca-Cola. And then Josh McDowell also made the race at last week. The only three who have not made a start, however, besides Sebastian Palmer, or the other three drivers besides Palmer, who has not made a start, rather, is Beta, Inglewood, and Glover. Glover, Beta have failed to qualify for the first three races. Palmer has failed to qualify in his attempts. He's been in that 46 car because the Hadley Martindale has already made a start in that ride and made the show. So this would be the second start for the 46 should Sebastian Palmer hang on to that final transfer spot. If the caution does come out at any point before we take the white flag, the race will end under the yellow flag. However, if we take the white flag and the caution comes out, these drivers will have to race back to the checker flag, because we are going to a green-white checker to finish off today's race. Today's qualifying race, to be more specific. So Curtis Glover better time this restart perfectly as we're coming to the Geico restart zone. It is green, white checker to finish off today's races. We're back to green here at Watkins Glen. If you're the 7 drivers in the transfer spot, you got to have 2 clean laps to make it to the main event tomorrow. For those 8 on back, they gotta hope for a big wreck. Here comes Bryn Inglewood. Try to go to the inside. Thought better of it. Trinity Lee giving Alexin Vitali some room. Looks like Sebastian Palmer is going to go onto the inside of Trinity Lee, trying to take the 6th spot, put Trinity Lee onto the bubble. But Palmer just can't get the run because the next corner is a left-hander, as we're coming to the white flag, by the way. Beta drops down to 4th, losing the spot to Bryn Inglewood. Or just can't get around Bryn Inglewood. There's the white flag, which means if the yellow comes out now, we're racing back to the checkers regardless. So these drivers make a mistake. This is going to get some of these people into the field. Felicia Tesser's got some rear end damage. We're going to investigate that after this race is done. Yeah, she's got. She probably must have hit that. I don't know why she's got rear end damage on her Toyota. Nevertheless, she's not going to make the field anyway. So what difference does it make? I don't know why she's got rear end damage. I wonder if she must have hit something. Nevertheless, making sure looks like nobody's going to have any issues. Timo Mauser's got some rear end damage, so I'm starting to wonder somebody must have gotten front end damage. But nevertheless, Curtis Glover going to make it into the main event as this qualifying race is going to come to a close. As here we come off of turn number 7, Curtis Glover is going to make the qualifying, will win the qualifier to make the race tomorrow. Joining him will be the 8 of Josh McDowell. Bryn Inglewood's going to make her debut. Liliana Beta will make her first start of the year. So is Alex Simbatali making his second race in a row. Trinity Lee will make the race, and Sebastian Palmer will finally make his debut on this channel. So congratulations to those 7 drivers. They will be in tomorrow's main event. So I'm actually going to go ahead and save the results on my phone so I do not forget. Unfortunately, the drivers who will not make tomorrow's race and sadly will be going home. Those drivers are Drake Robertson, who fell out of the top 35 in points last week as Josh McDowell just passed Curtis Glover, but that's probably a congratulations on making the race. But anyway, Drake Robertson will not make the show, so this will be his first DNQ. Derek Elwood, Bradley Ream, Jocelyn Hawkins, Josh Quake, Maxie Chilton, Logan Burton, Dylan Matthews, Laura Bridges, Damian San Diego, Rita Ora, Tina Jones, Kiki Honeyman, Jesse Art, who was in the 99 this weekend for the rest of the season, Blake Pepper, Zach Lambert, Boris Camp, Alyssa Albon, Ben Wallace, Margaret Jacobs. So both of the Smith Brother Racing entries will go home as you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results. Maisie Creighton, Alexandria Starnes, Nathan Norman, Esther Roberts, Rickshaw Miller, Luna Farmer, Cleopatra Gamal, Luca Rosso, Ariel Moore, Timo Mauser, Annie Smith, Josh Rogers, Fabian Tester, Samantha Wilson, and Dylan Van Dyke. Those drivers will sadly not make the show, which I may end up doing like a dual race for drivers who have not made the show. I may think about doing that probably next week at Talladega, but which hopefully you guys will be okay with that. But that is it from the Glen qualifier. Next up, you'll see the E-Series race at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hope you will tune in for that. If you enjoyed this qualifying race, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCS Recruit today. We showed your full finisher results. We'll see you guys later this afternoon for the E-Series race. Until then, I've been Data signing off. Thank you for watching another broadcast courtesy of PCS Ray TV as we celebrate 14 years as the best auto racing around the world since 2017.